I think it's beautiful. Where was that taken?
This is Rougham Estate in Suffolk, and I took that when was this? About a week ago. So it's a brand new combine. I forget. It's a Class Lexon. I think it's a 7,000. I showed it to some of my friends in Kenya. Mark, you won't believe this. They said, yeah, we bought 2 of those for our farm that's at altitude in Kenya, and we had to send them back because the engines weren't powerful enough because they were at altitude. So we bought them, had to send them back, get 2 more with bigger engines. But what a world we live in, Mark.
No. Well, welcome to my study. And these aren't my shirts, but they are the shirts of superstars. So cricket, Middlesbrough and the British Lions.
Fantastic. Okay, so no football. We won't ask. Right, come on, Mark. We've got to get on with this because this is a very important broadcast, and it's great to have you on. So all the social media is live. So let me just for those people to get a bit more of an understanding, let me just read out some notes that you've kindly presented over. UK Farm Assurance Review, the latest update from Commissioner Mark Suthern on Beanstalk Global. My name is Max McGillivray. A review of farm-to-fork assurance schemes across the industry is currently underway. The independent review has been jointly commissioned by the NFU and the AHDB, along with the NFU in Wales, the Ulster Farmers Union and the NFU in Scotland, who all form part of the Assurance Review Leadership Group, which has overall responsibility for its delivery. The industry-wide review is focused on repurposing assurance in a post-Brexit world. It aims to seek feedback from all farmers, crofters and growers about all farm assurance schemes with a view to revolutionising farm-to-fork assurance, making it truly fit for the future. The review will examine key points that Mark and I are going to go into, and the group has 4 commissioners who will be responsible for setting the terms of reference and a timeline to ensure the process provides clear outcomes to the industry. And we go live with Mark, who's one of the commissioners, to discuss in a little bit more detail. Mark, have I summarised it adequately enough?
I think you've summarised it really, really well. But what I thought I'd do, Max, if that's okay, is just remind us, what's going on in the farming, in the supply chain. And if you don't mind, what I was going to do was actually use an article that I wrote for Farming Community Network. Some of you may know that I chair FCN. And I just think it's really important to put context about why this independent review is so important. So these are directly from our 23-24 accounts for FCN. So in the last 5 years, so much has continued to change. The COVID-19 pandemic upheaved established systems and fundamentally altered the nature of how much of society works, operates and interacts. Global conflicts have disrupted supply chains, increased energy and input costs, and have thrust food security into the forefront of the political agenda against a backdrop of volatility and uncertainty. But one thing that remains certain and clear: British farmers are essential and must continue to be supported and valued by the wider society. And the reason I wanted to say that and share that, because you might think, well, what's that to do with farm assurance? It's the landscape that we are operating in, and there is a real need now for us to review all aspects of farm level assurance. And there's been a little bit of confusion about, well, what is it? It is an independent review. It does follow on from the review of governance of red tractor assurance, but I want to be really clear, this is much more than that. This is a real opportunity to have a much broader, wider review of farm assurances schemes in the UK, across the globe. What's it feel like? What does it feel like for the farmer, for the grower, for the crofter, as you describe? What's the workload? And really, how can we make sure that we get it right, fit for purpose, and make sure that we are adding value for the producers and the growers?
Excellent. So Mark, here comes the big question. What does success look like for you, your other commissioner colleagues, and for everyone involved with the UK Farm Assurance Review? What does success look like, please?
Success means that we deliver on time a review. And, 1 or 2 people have said, look, you're collecting all of this data. You've got a combination of data. You've got stories. How are you going to bring it together? Well, we've got the 4 independent commissioners, David Llewellyn, Katrina Williams, myself and James Withers. We're working really closely with the Secretariat. We're pulling all of this information together, and we recognise that we're going to have to operate at pace to produce meaningful recommendations. And we've got some very clear objectives, but it's really about producing a quality report that will help everybody in that food supply chain.
Okay, and timescale. So thank
timescale. So we've already kicked. I beg your pardon.
Carry on.
No. So Max, I mean, we've already kicked it off. We've already kicked it off with sort of many actions. So many of the people watching this and listening to this will be aware of the survey. So the survey's out there. We're expecting that back pretty soon. Once that survey's done, we're also doing other things. We're doing some desktop reviews of literature. So we're looking at some academic reviews of research that's gone into farm assurances both in the UK and across the globe. So there's academic research. We're also writing out to a significant number of external stakeholders to make sure that we can have a real call for evidence, so a written call for evidence. But then those are the sort of the formally bits. But what are we also doing as commissioners? We're out and about talking to people. So this week I've had one-to-ones via Zoom with farmers, farm managers, bankers, supermarkets. The rest of the commissioners are doing exactly the same. Yesterday, I was at the NSA sheep event, talking to farmers there, talking to sheep farmers about what they feel about assurance schemes, what's working well, where's the room for improvement, and what can be done. So we're going to bring all of this together. And then when we've got it all together, we're looking to produce the report by the end of the year.
Okay, thank you. And I don't know if I'm allowed to voice this, but I get the positive feeling that with the recent change of new government, that there's a new drive within government and within the likes of the civil service, within the likes of DEFRA. So to me, from what I'm picking up, the timing is very fortuitous, Mark. That there seems to be a lot of positivity, a lot of enthusiasm to assist you and your commissioner colleagues to get this over the line and to get a positive result from it.
I think everybody involved wants to get a positive result. There are too many people that are involved in farm assurance schemes for us not to deliver an equitable, fair recommendations for everybody. Yes, there's been a change of government. I was listening to the farming minister talk yesterday passionately about his desire to do the role that he's doing. It was interesting listening to him talk about the things. And what was really interesting was for me, and this isn't about politics at all, it's just about people. This was somebody who wanted to listen. He said, I want to listen to you in this room, but politics is about making hard decisions. Yes, it can be about talking to people and collecting the information, but sometimes you have to make difficult decisions. And so I think what is the real tailwind behind us is that people are realizing how important food security is, and people want to be assured that they are eating quality British products.
Yeah, well said. Because we produce some of the finest food in the world, and yes, it needs to be assured. Mark, independence and transparency. How can we, if it's the right word to use, how can we guarantee that this is going to be an independent and transparent review, please?
Really good question, and I think it's important to look at the people that are the four commissioners. So the four commissioners appointed independently the secretariat. So the secretariat are the people doing the sort of the back office work for us. Really important part of it. But the four people that are the commissioners, obviously David Llewellyn, former Harper Adams, James Withers, who's got a significant depth and knowledge in Scotland and the work that he's done with Scottish government, Katrina Williams, her role in government in England through DEFRA. And then I suppose I can talk about myself. I have skin in the game in the sense that I passionately care about UK agriculture. But where it helps me to be truly independent, I don't farm. I haven't worked for an assurance scheme. But what I do have is, significant amount of experience as a banker to the sector, the largest UK bank. I chair Farming Community Network, and I also work for both, a number of arm's length bodies within the DEFRA sort of family. So we all really care, but we're not beholden to the, if you like, the formation group, the leadership group. We're not beholden to them.
Well done, Mark. I've always seen you as a sort of a non-exec for the sector, like a critical friend for the sector. So I think actually, because you have got skin in the game because of what you've done previously, say within the banking scenario, within agriculture and your current roles, but you haven't actually farmed. But you know everything about farming. I think it was a very mercurial choice to get you as well as the other commissioners on board. So just to reiterate for everyone, what are the objectives of the Farm Assurance Review, please, Mark?
Yeah, so there's sort of three or four or five. The first one is what I've talked about, is that comprehensive review of farm assurance, and it's primarily through the lens of primary producers, so farmers and growers, but also others in the supply chain as well. So as I said, I've already been talking to supermarkets about it. So it's comprehensive review of farm assurance. What we want to do is identify good farm assurance schemes, both in the UK and overseas. What drives their success? And we're already getting some sort of interesting feedback from that. So comprehensive review. What does good look like? Very importantly, and particularly wearing my FCN hat, we want us to investigate audit loads and how can it be made more efficient and effective. Because a number of people have talked about the workload, the stress, the sort of mental anguish that sometimes these things can cause. Now, nobody wants that. So, review, what does good look like, audit loads, and then also, how does it all fit in with regulation? So again, wearing those other hats, I can think about the RPA visits, the Natural England visits, EA visits. Where can we get this to work together? Food safety, how can it all become part of it? Health and safety. There's such a wide-ranging gamut of sort of challenges, but there must be a way we can try and look at that interaction. And then finally, the sort of the sort of finale really of our objectives is that really clear recommendations for the future.
Excellent. Mark, thank you. Just to wrap up, collaboration, yourself and the likes of the NFU and the AHDB and the commissioners, you can't do that yourselves. Collaboration, what do you need from us? What do you need from everyone dialed in? How can we all help you and the other commissioners make a success of this, please?
Yeah, so absolutely. Completing the survey is vital. We do want that. We do that. There's also the email address for the UK Farm Assurance Scheme. If you want to write to that with comments, please do. If you're asked to do the written sort of call for evidence, complete it. But please, if you've got views and you see us at the shows or you see us around and about at events, just grab us. Some of the most fruitful conversations I had yesterday, where somebody just sort of grabbed my arm and said, "Mark, you're one of the commissioners, aren't you?" And we just went for a walk around the showground. We weren't sitting at a desk, we weren't asking questions. This was just two people having a conversation about what good looked like and what the future could look like. So do complete the survey, do complete the call for evidence. Come to the events. For example, in September, I'm at Potato Day at Nocton. So, I'll be there talking and listening. I think probably listening more than talking. But there is also the email address, UK Farm Assurance Review. So please, if you've got something specifically you want to get off your chest, write in directly.
Yeah, well said. And if you look at the links on this post, you'll see those links to complete the survey. So come on, everyone, let's collaborate with the commissioners. They're all looking to do good here, good for the sector, for the short and the long term. Mark, just wrap up for us as to. Again, if it's okay to ask this, what does success look like for you, the commissioners, and for all of us collaborating with you? What does success look like for the UK Farm Assurance Review?
I think we're sitting in that unique position. You've talked about sort of government change, but I also talked about that sort of global change. And for me, what success would look like is that if in sort of 10, 15 years time, people are using the recommendations with enthusiasm wherever they fit in the food supply chain. So it's leaving a lasting legacy that makes positive change for people in the whole supply chain.
There we go, leaving a lasting legacy. Mark, thank you very much. And we wish you all the best with the UK Farm Assurance Review for you and your commissioner colleagues.